Good morning and welcome to the Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's only local morning show, giving you exclusive access into people, businesses, and events in our community. We're bringing you the show live daily, weekdays at 9:30 a.m. with your host, me, Maddie Muschin. Before we dive into today's show, every week we highlight someone, an educator, student, business, or organization from our Greater West Bloomfield community going above and beyond. If you would like to submit an entry for someone, you can scan the QR code on the screen, fill out the Google form with the person's name, their contact information, and reasons why you think they should be recognized for our Person of the Week here on the Splash Live. Now let's go check out what's going on in our Greater West Bloomfield community. Our first event we want to look at is the West Bloomfield Township Public Library virtual programming events. They have some great events this week starting today, March 1st. They have their 9 a.m. teen and tween library on the go, Pom Pom Critters, as well as their 7 p.m. talk called The Women of the Black Bottom Saints. They're looking at a Women's History Month celebration. During this talk, they will be discussing the women of the Black Bottom Saints while giving insight into the stories and history of these real-life characters and how they influence the cultural landscape of Detroit in a period between the Great Depression and post-World War II. Happy Fat Tuesday, everybody. March begins today, and that means people all over West Bloomfield are celebrating Fat Tuesday. If you're looking for a fun and tasty way to celebrate, Connect at Orchard Mall in West Bloomfield is hosting a fun morning to celebrate Fat Tuesday. You're invited to drop in anytime between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. to grab a punchki and enjoy the Connect Center with friends. No registration is necessary, but they do limit the punchki intake to 1 per member. Our last event we want to look at is the Silverlink Game Nights. This event is perfect if you're looking for something fun to do this winter. Whether you go alone or with friends, the Silverlink Game Nights are a great way to socialize safely with your neighbors and friends. Silverlink Game Nights take place every Wednesday when there is not a Silverlink board meeting in the community center. Game night starts at 5:30 p.m. and will go to about 9 p.m. in the community center. They're also starting their euchre tournament, so if you want more information, you can contact either Feather Buchanan or Amy Cantor to register for the euchre tournament. It will be a lot of fun, and there will be some fun prizes and money if you win the tournament. This event is open to all Silverlink residents, and you're welcome to bring any family and friends that you wish to bring. If you have an event you would like us to feature here on the Splash Live, you can send us a message on our social media pages at Civic Center TV and Facebook at Civic Center TV 15. Coming up, we'll be talking about the Oakland Early College and the different types of programs that they offer from Morrison Borders. But before that, if you're a foodie or just looking for a great place to grab a slider in Kegel Harbor, you've heard the buzz about the new slider restaurant that popped up in Kegel. Although they have no name, the place has been packed with people looking to get a taste of the great food that they have to offer there. Splash reporter Brendan Schreiber got an exclusive look at the new go-to in Kegel Harbor.
Right here in Kegel Harbor on Orchard Lake Road, a new slider joint has many people talking. Here at the Splash, we talked with the owner, Les Pollock, and asked him to tell us a little more about his establishment.
Well, we opened this place because there's no slider places in the area. So I've been eating sliders for years, and we wanted to make the slider a little better. So what we did here is we did an all-natural grass-fed Angus beef. We changed the patty to a 1.2. Most places have a 1.4 ounce. We took it to a 2 ounce patty, right? So we kind of perfected the bun to meat ratio. We're using a great potato bun. It's an 80-20 blend, little mix of brisket in there, and we just made a better slider.
One of the biggest mysteries surrounding this modest restaurant is the name, which is yet to be revealed. We asked Les what the status was on the upcoming title.
We wanted to open. We had some issues with our packaging, which is like on a 3-month delay. So we figured, all right, we're just not going to do a name right now. We're going to launch a name come spring. We'll do like a ribbon cutting with the city and all that fun stuff, and then we'll launch the name, and our social media and our bags and our cups and all that stuff should be in by then.
Finally, we asked Les why Kegel Harbor was the perfect place for his slider restaurant.
Well, there's a couple other burger places in the Oakland County area, And, we saw this building. We thought it would be a perfect fit. It's surrounded by all the lakes. And we just thought it would be a great idea to open up a burger place here.
For tasty sliders and more, head on over to Orchard Lake Road right next to Hester Report. Reporting for The Splash, I'm Brendan Schreiber.
If you're in the mood for a great lunch or dinner, you can head over to the new spot in Kegel Harbor, located across from Dairy Queen and Sage Green Floral Shop in Kegel Harbor off of Orchard Lake Road. We're now going to be taking a look at some of the fun programs that the Oakland Early College has. We interviewed Morrison Borders a while ago on the Splash Live, so let's go check out what Morrison had to say about the great programs that they have for Oakland Early College. We are now joined by Morrison Borders, the head of Oakland Early College. Morrison, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Hey, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Morrison, can you start first off by starting to explain your role at Oakland Early College and how you got involved with the programs there?
Sure. So I'm the head of school, which is just a fancy name for principal at Oakland Early College. We're located on the OCC Orchard Ridge campus in Farmington Hills. I've been part of the program since July. And our program, we focus on students attending high school and college classes simultaneously. So it's a really great program for students.
Morrison, Oakland Early College is a hybrid school, you mentioned, combining some of the elements of high school and college. Could you go into depth about some of the programs and what you can offer students there?
Sure. So all of our students have the opportunity to earn up to an associate's degree while they're with us and at no cost to the families. So we offer a very small, caring environment. Right now we have 150 students and our max capacity is 180. So we're always going to be a small, welcoming environment. We're a little different than other early middle college programs in the county and in the state because we're actually on the college campus. So our students get the full college experience of possibly going from a high school class during the day, then going right to a college class at night, or even going from a high school class to a college class, back to a high school class. So our students really have a great opportunity to learn about college and engage in college courses in a very safe and supportive environment. We provide a lot of intentional supports to students to make sure that they're as successful as possible. And that way, when they leave us and they go on to a four-year college after the fact, they're even more prepared to be successful.
With those courses that you mentioned, if there's a high school student that will be going to those college courses later in the day or going back and forth with the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, during that, are there hybrid courses that they can do online? Is it all in person? And how have you guys kind of navigated the coronavirus pandemic with that?
So for all of our high school courses are fully in person. Like I said, we're located in the H building at OCC Orchard Ridge and Farmington Hills. And the college has a mixture of offerings. We have students who are in face-to-face courses. We have students who are in online courses, and we also have students who are in hybrid college courses. So our students really are able to take advantage of whatever the college has to offer and kind of take the classes that really tailor to their strengths. And they're not really forced into one particular mode in terms of college course delivery.
Morrison, you mentioned taking courses that draw to the strengths of those students. What are some of those courses that students can take at Oakland Early College, whether that is some of those math classes or science classes? Could you just give us some broad overview into some of the courses that students are able to take there?
Sure, really, I mean, it's pretty much any kind of course that a student could think of. I mean, there's courses that go from an associate's degree, which at the end, students earn a certificate. OCC has a great welding and a great HVAC program that a lot of students take advantage of, not just our students, but students from the area to get that certificate to go right into the job force. We also have students who are taking Calculus 2 and 3. So it's such a wide range of courses that students can take. Everyone can find a course that fits their needs. And actually, OCC has one of the best culinary arts programs in the state. There was actually a OCC culinary graduate who is on the next baking championship on the Food Network. So the courses aren't just, a lot of students think of, community college courses, but they're very rigorous and they get students to where they want to go. And the great thing about our program is all those courses are free of charge. Like the school picks up the tab. Students even have the ability to take courses over the summer, in some instances, still free of charge. And so if you think about how much college costs these days, this is really a great opportunity for students and parents.
Morrison, how does the application process work for Oakland Early College? When does that start for some of those high school students, and what does the application process look like for those students interested in Oakland Early College?
Sure. It's a pretty straightforward application, but it is a little more rigorous than just transferring to your local high school. So students first start with a family meeting. So parents will contact us and we'll set up a family meeting where I will go through the program in depth. Like what we're talking about now is kind of a 30,000 foot view, right? So during that family meeting, we'll go very in depth in terms of courses and what the day-to-day life looks like. After that, if students are still interested, we offer opportunities for students to shadow in the building. With COVID, we do have a few procedural safeguards in place for that. So students either have to be fully vaccinated or have a negative COVID test 48 hours in advance to come into the building to shadow. And that's an entire West Bloomfield School District thing. That's not just an Oakland Early College. Then after that, students can formally apply. There's an application online. During the application, they have to submit any type of academic document that you would think of. So test scores, attendance, discipline, grades, transcripts. But then students also need to get 2 letters of recommendation, and they have to answer a series of essay questions. And after all that is complete, then they go through an interview process with us. And the interview process is with myself, our school counselor, Mrs. Belair's, and usually at least 3 other students. And so after that process, then we decide if that student's a good fit or not.
Morrison, for those students that have already graduated, what type of feedback have they given about Oakland Early College, and how do they say that the college has prepared them for their future, whether that's going into a 4-year schooling after that or going into a different route?
Sure. So a lot of the students say, the main thing they say is how prepared they are, right? So when you're a college freshman, 99% of college freshmen have never stepped foot on a college campus, have never taken a college class, and they don't really know what to expect, right? Our students are fully prepared for that. So there's no freshman dip, there's no freshman lag. You immediately move directly from our program, and it's a seamless transition into whatever 4-year program you take. Our students are also required to do an internship in their final year, the 13th grade year. And that internship really opens their eyes to things they thought they wanted to do, and then they decided, whoa, that's really not for me. So it really set them on a positive career path where they weren't, I hate to say wasting time in college, but wasting time taking courses that aren't going to get them to where they ultimately want to go. We also have a number of students who go through our certificate program and earn a certificate. If they don't earn it directly while they're with us, they may spend another year at OCC completing that certificate, and then they go right into the workforce. We had a student a few years ago who, as soon as he was done, was hired as a paramedic while he was pursuing his pre-med degree. Right, so he got a certificate, and so he could get a job right out of school while he was still continuing on the career path that he wanted to go.
As we wrap up, Morrison, is there anything else you would like to share about Oakland Early College or that application process?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that people need to know is that we do school different. We're a very small environment. Our class sizes are small. We average about 25 students per class, but we also offer specific, focused instruction in terms of how to be successful outside of the classroom and in the community. Our students are very active on the OCC campus and in the community, and we take pride in the fact that our students are prepared for life and not just for college because of the programming that we offer them on a daily basis. And so students that are interested in pursuing our program, all you have to do is be an Oakland County resident to apply. If you go to Oakland Early College, if you just Google Oakland Early College, we are the first search that comes up. And you can find all that information that you need on our website. We're also offering a preview night on March 1st that will be a live Zoom webinar, and the link to that will be up on our website once that link is ready as well. So parents can tune in to that, and students can tune into that to get a little bit more information about what we offer.
Morrison, thank you so much for joining us this morning and giving us a little bit of insight into the Oakland Early College process.
Great. Hey, thank you very much for having me. You guys have a great day.
Thank you, you too. Thank you to Morrison Borders for giving us some insight into the Oakland Early College programs and how you can apply to get a head start in your career through the West Bloomfield School District. They also have their preview night tonight, so if you want more information for that, you can head over to the Oakland Early College to figure out what that is all about. We're going to take a short break here on the Splash Live, and after that, we'll be looking at a cool event that West Bloomfield Parks had to celebrate Black History Month this past Saturday, as well as checking in with Carol Fink to figure out how you can enjoy the Orchard Lake Nature Sanctuary and spring in the outdoors as the weather warms up. So don't go anywhere. All that and more after this short break.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
In the face of COVID-19, staying healthy is important. And now the same is true as we face the flu. Influenza has the potential to infect millions, putting lives and the healthcare system at risk. Fortunately, it's easy to protect yourself. The flu vaccine is safe and effective, and with COVID-19 still spreading, it's essential. To see how you can hit this virus head on, visit michigan.gov/flu.
Can I ask you a question? Why do you want to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
I don't like getting sick. The virus will die. It will be easy to not catch it. Keep my family safe and keep playing soccer. Because I love being vaccinated.
What's your hope for everyone?
I hope everybody gets the vaccine to keep safe and strong. Be like happy, having fun everywhere. Everyone stay safe and hope you get the vaccine.
And now, back to the Splash Live.
Welcome back to the Splash Live. I'm your host, Maddie Muschin. This past Saturday, West Bloomfield Parks and the Diversity Task Force for West Bloomfield held their last Black History Month event at Orchard Mall. The Black Expo highlighted Black and minority-owned businesses in our greater West Bloomfield community, and they also had a special performance by the West Bloomfield Jazz Band. Let's go check out this great event and what it means to our West Bloomfield community. For their final Black History Month event, the West Bloomfield Parks and the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force threw a great event that highlighted Black businesses and companies. We got to talk to the MC of the event, Thais Leverett Thornton, about what the event means to her.
Hi, I'm Thais Leverett Thornton, and I'm involved in the West Bloomfield Black Expo, primarily as a member of the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force. We are dedicated to making sure that we highlight all that's diverse and wonderful in West Bloomfield and having celebrations and opportunities to share like what we're doing today. And this is the first annual West Bloomfield Black Expo, and we're really excited about all that's taking place this morning. So I first got involved in the Black Expo, again, as a member of the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force. And we wanted to figure out a way to really showcase the diverse businesses, entrepreneurs, and the resources that we had in the area. So we thought an expo would be a perfect way to do it. We started off thinking, all right, if we could get 7 to 10 vendors, we'll be doing great. And now we have over 30 vendors at this event today. And it's really important for this community to recognize that all of us come together in West Bloomfield to make it the wonderful place that it is to live. And it's good to understand that businesses can exist in different forms. You can have large companies, smaller companies, and owned by diverse people. And that's why we're really excited about this event and really be able to showcase and highlight what we have here.
We also talked to Ralph Tompkins, who is the DJ of the Black Expo, about how the Black Expo impacts the Black and minority-owned businesses in West Bloomfield.
Yeah, so it's super amazing to have an event like this for the first time ever inside the city of West Bloomfield. I've been a resident of West Bloomfield for so long, so it personally touches my heart to be able to have a lot of representation of our community and share the area with so many different so many different individuals that work so hard. So it's nice to have a lot of collective minds in one room, and it's nice to just be a nice piece of the puzzle. It's a great event for the community. It really means so much that we have an opportunity to really showcase our talents inside the city of West Bloomfield. The diversity is definitely increased with our city in the last decade, so it's super nice to bring it all together in a community and just share so much talent and so much ability that we have and make it noticeable to not only the city of West Bloomfield, but the surrounding areas around it, and showcase that we have so much talent, so much ability, and be able to have it inside of Black History Month. It just wraps it all together. So it's great to have a collaboration of great, intelligent minds inside of Orchard Mall, representing the city of West Bloomfield.
With the West Bloomfield Jazz Band performing and over 35 vendors showcasing their products and services, the first annual Black Expo was the perfect way to conclude Black History Month. Reporting for The Splash Live, I'm Maddie Mustian.
Thank you to West Bloomfield Parks and the Diversity Task Force for West Bloomfield for creating educational and interactive events throughout the whole month of February, while also giving Black and minority-owned businesses a stage to showcase their products. It is now time to talk about how you can enjoy nature in our community with the weather warming up and the sun staying out a little bit longer each day. Joining us now to give us some tips on enjoying nature in our community is board member for the Orchard Lake Nature Sanctuary, Carol Fink. Carol, thank you for joining us again this morning.
Good morning, Maddie. It's a pleasure to be here, and it is a beautiful day.
Carol, let's first start off with a little bit of your background and telling us a little bit about how you got involved with the Orchard Lake Nature Sanctuary.
That's a good question. Well, my whole life and probably past lives, I've always had an absolute passion for being in the outdoors. Back in the 90s, I taught both for West Bloomfield Community Ed and Parks and Rec, teaching cross-country skiing, wildflower walks, working with scout groups. And then when the Orchard Lake Nature Preserve or Nature Sanctuary started, I just sort of blended with them. It's a great group. And it's all about protecting our beautiful lands and sustaining healthy habitats. So I just love being there. It's easy.
And Carol, you know a ton of information about the Orchard Lake Nature Sanctuary. Could you share with us a little bit about the history of the Orchard Lake Nature Sanctuary in West Bloomfield and some interesting facts about it?
Oh, it is a really beautiful place. We refer to it as the little gourmet shop. We're about 30 acres. Back in 1990s, the city of Orchard Lake, including the community and with some grants from the DNR, we purchased the 35-acre land from Cranbrook. And it's just a beautiful place to do, just to be there and enjoy the beauty of nature. It's a great sanctuary. It's named really appropriately. So back when it was owned by Cranbrook, it was used as an off-site nature area. So it was already there, trails were already established, and it was just a place waiting to visit with more people.
Carol, with the Michigan weather starting to warm up a little bit, what are some of the things that you see that stand out in nature and are changing right now as the weather is warming up?
Oh, Maddie, I love that question. First of all, spring has been going on underneath the cold snow for several weeks now. It never really goes away. Everything is still alive underneath the snow. So right now it's a really exciting time. We're coming into March. Yeah, I'm sure you folks are noticing more daylight. More daylight means more things have, the trees are starting to, they're starting to bud. They're preparing themselves for spring. It's maple sugar season. Please, if you haven't had a chance, several places around town are offering maple programs. So don't just go to one. I know we have one at Farmington Hills Nature Center. Tollgate Farm offers a maple sugaring. Kensington, all the other metro parks. So it's a great time to learn. Every place tells about similar information, but everyone has its own spin on it. Also, once again, it's acknowledging the Native Americans who taught us this fine skill about collecting sap for maple syrup. The March full moon was known as the maple moon, and it was a time when the Native Americans were running out of their food stores, they were running out of rice, they were running out of corn, and basically they were starving to death. March was a very difficult month. Things weren't starting to grow yet, and they had starting to run out of their food caches. So maybe by observing squirrels drinking from a broken branch on a maple tree. There's stories and legends how this happened. But the people found that if they drank that sweet water from the maple trees, drop by drop, and collecting it, in reservoirs, that was able to sustain them. So the maple trees actually saved lives. So which is why we acknowledge and appreciate so much about the beauty of the trees. It's a really fun program wherever you go, and learn the secrets of sap season.
Carol,
so that's happening. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, Carol, even though it's a little wet out with the melting snow or some of the rain that is coming in March and April, how can one still enjoy nature in our community?
Another great question. First of all, once that weather gets over to 32 degrees, the wetness is great. It's our earth waking up. So when you go out in the day, it gets a little bit warmer, you can smell the earth, and it's such a fantastic smell. And usually you're smelling it through the mud. So mud is a really good thing. March is known as the season of ice and mud. It's a beautiful combination. So my recommendation is go outside, put boots on, dress for the weather. Don't miss this great reawakening of spring. Right now, a lot of birds are coming back. I've seen bluebirds. And they're not blue jays are also here, but the bluebirds are returning, and they carry the blue sky on their back. Some of the sandhill cranes are back, red-winged blackbirds, red-tailed hawks. Just go out and play. It's beautiful. And just dress for the weather, because you want to really enjoy where you are.
And Carol, as we wrap up here, could you share some of the ways or a way that members in our West Bloomfield community can go out and respect nature as well as the Orchard Lake Nature Sanctuary?
Oh, excellent question. Really recommend that you, no matter which nature center you're at or which nature trails, please stay on the trails. Right now, it's a very tender time because things are just starting to grow. So you don't want to squish anything in the woods. Also, come a few more weeks, poison ivy is going to be coming up. That's another really good reason to stay on the trails. Enjoy and respect nature. I have a reading from Thich Nhat Hanh if we have time for that. Just respect the earth. We ask that you don't bring your pets to the nature center areas because it sort of disturbs the fine balance of nature we have there. We've got some great dog parks around, so please leave your pets home. When you come out and visit the woods. I recommend bringing water. I recommend bringing snacks. Got to have snacks in the woods. Also, we talked earlier at the time about tracking, and snow is a great way to track animals. So is mud. Mud is a really great way. You find great raccoon footprints in the mud, and it really doesn't matter so much what you're seeing out there, but the important thing is that you're seeing. You're not just looking at nature, you're looking and you're seeing texture and form and using all your senses. So just go out and play and get dirty.
Well, Carol,
I've always lived.
We so appreciate you joining us this morning. It's such a pleasure having you join us.
Thank you so much for having me. Well, I'm going to go put on my rubber boots and go out and play. Thanks again. See you out in the woods.
Once again, I was joined by a board member for the Orchard Lake Nature Sanctuary, Carol Fink, telling us how you can enjoy the great nature that we have here in Greater West Bloomfield. That's it for today's show. Thank you again to Carol Fink for joining us this morning. A special thanks to our Zoom producer, Jared Clark, for coordinating the Zoom, making sure our guests joined us. As always, a big thanks to Calvin Brown, our board operator, for making the show possible each and every morning. And thank you for joining me as we explored all of the people events going on in our Greater West Bloomfield community. You can tune in live on Civic Center TV on Comcast Channel 15 and AT&T Channel 99. For all of our friends in Orchard Lake, Sylvan Lake, Kegel Harbor, and West Bloomfield, I'm Maddie Muschen. Thank you for watching The Splash Live.